Namaskaram, my dear friends. Very happy to connect with you again in the subject of theory of happiness. So, in this session, I would like to throw some more light onto the subject of theory of happiness. So, it is very important to understand that this word happiness, as I mentioned before, it is not a specific word in English because everyone understands happiness in their own way. So, when any word which has got multiple connotations, so it becomes extremely difficult for us to talk on this subject in more detail. So, in English dictionary, when you see, there are many words which are giving the similar meaning or similar connotation of the idea of happiness. In this session, I would like to share some of those which is very important and will deepen your perspective to discuss the mechanism of happiness going forward. So, all that we are discussing in this session is intended to ultimately empower you and give you the freedom to change your kind of mindset that the happiness is something which is absolutely under your control, which has got the least amount of kind of influence from the external world or external situations. Why we are discussing this subject in a context of current lockdown is because we are going through a tremendous amount of emotional crisis right now, apart from the financial and other kind of issues that we are facing. So, if you look at the English dictionary, you find several words. Let me explain to you each one of them and try my level best to tell you what is the distinction between them. So, at the lowest level of happiness spectrum, you find a word which is called glee. Glee. Glee is essentially is a sense of a sadistic happiness when someone else is suffering. For example, most of the human beings respond, somebody slips and falls down. The immediate instinct of any human being is to laugh, instead of going and helping them and, comforting them. Generally, we have a tendency to laugh. So, this is also one of the lowest degree of pleasure which is coming out of someone else's suffering. So, we call this as a sadistic way of living life. So, the second degree of happiness is coming from pleasure. There's a word called pleasure in English. We discussed this in our previous sessions that pleasure is a sensation of happiness which is coming out of physical, body related kind of activities like eating an ice cream, for example, or enjoying your food which you like the most, and so on and so forth, or maybe the carnal pleasures of mankind, and so on and so forth. So, any physical indulgence, basically, we call this as an indulgence. So, indulgence is essentially using your body to derive a sense of happiness. So, we call this as a pleasure, for example. Now, then we have the another word, of course, is happiness, which is very loosely used. So, we'll come to that a little more in detail going forward. But in the meantime, you also have another word called joy, for example. You may be wondering why in English there are so many words describing the same sensation of human being. But if all the connotations are going to be one and the same, there's no necessity to have multiple words, right? So it's very important to understand that different degree of human happiness is described through different words. So let's stay with that. Joy actually is coming from a volunteering actions, which is nothing different from physical indulgence, for example. That means playing a music, or you have made a nice painting. What they call it in psychology is the volunteering kind of activity, which gives you a sense of joy, for example. So going forward, we will discuss about the various theories which are connecting all these words, and then we will discuss in greater detail. So, so we have seen glee, for example, which is a negative way of deriving happiness. Then we saw the pleasure, for example. Pleasure is actually due to physical kind of indulgence. And we saw happiness, which is essentially is deriving the kind of a sensation. Then we saw joy. Joy comes out of a sensation of happiness when you are really indulging in something which gives you a deeper sense of gratification. So having seen that, there are a few more levels of little more complex ideas, which is brought about by the Vedic literatures. One is called bliss, for example. You will be wondering what is this word bliss really means. So we have seen the rest of the levels, which are essentially the glee and pleasure and happiness and joy. They all need an external stimuli to get you that feeling of happiness. But the bliss is a state where you don't need any external inputs or external objects to make you happy. That means when you meditate, for example, when your thoughts are almost zero and then your mind is so quiet and calm and serene, you experience is what is called a bliss. Bliss is nothing but neither a positive feeling or a negative feeling. It is a kind of a peaceful sensation that human beings go through at the time of their meditation. So the highest level, what I would like to add, which is nothing but ecstasy, there is something called ecstasy. So we generally misrepresent our English by interchanging the words in many occasions. But ecstasy is something which is experienced only when the person gets enlightened. That means he has gone beyond the mind, and then he is in such a blissful state of experiencing the reality. That kind of a state, which is a non-returnable state of peace, is called ecstasy. So this perspective of the level of happiness with a different kind of means of making yourself to feel the sensation will be very useful for us to discuss the subject of theory of happiness going forward. Thank you very much. I hope that this session has deepened your understanding of the subject of happiness, and look forward to deep dive this subject more and more detail and give you some prescriptive way of how you can keep yourself happy and peaceful in your life. God bless you. Thank you for listening and take care. Good day.